about to tip things off from San Antonio. Conference USA action on a Thursday night. Glad you could join us. Roadrunners return to action on Saturday against the league-leading Middle Tennessee. So if you can't join us in person, you can catch that broadcaster. It'll be a 2 o'clock tip, about a 1:45 pregame. It'll be on ESPN Plus. Be joined by Carl Schoenig on that broadcast. So a lot of Roadrunner basketball this weekend. The men on the road at Western, and they'll be on the road at Middle Tennessee as well. So Roadrunners in their home white with navy numerals trimmed in orange. Visiting Western Kentucky Lady Toppers in their road red, white numerals trimmed in black. And about to tip things off. Pitts and Jenkins to get things started here. And tip to White. Setting up the offense for the Roadrunners. Quickly into Jenkins. High off the glass. 2-0 Roadrunners. All-time series led by Western at 7-2. Out to Pitts for the 3. Off the mark. Rebounded by Atwood. And here come the Roadrunners. Gudadaro getting her first start of the season. Freshman sharpshooter from San Jose, and can't hold on to it. Alexis Mead set to run the offense for the Lady Toppers from Western Kentucky. And the 3 from the southpaw, Jalen Foster, allows Western Kentucky to have an early lead at 3-2. Shot clock down to 15. Looking into Coleman, can't get it there. Finds Jenkins, and jumper off the mark. Atwood with the offensive board, loses it on the floor, spins away from the defense, and they're going to call it travel. So 2 early turnovers on the Roadrunners. Western Kentucky in second place in Conference USA at 8-3. Foster going up against Coleman. Shot clock down to 13. Step through by Foster. Long rebound comes down to Meredith. And off the mark. Coleman with the rebound. And third turnover so far for the Roadrunners. Alyssa Coleman with a strong defensive board, but couldn't find White for the outlet pass. The Western Kentucky with the lead and the basketball. 8:20 remaining here in the first period of play with the Convocation Center in San Antonio. Glad you could join us. Into Pitts. Pitts against Jenkins. Lady Toppers will retain possession of the basketball. 12 seconds on the shot clock. 8:05 remaining in the first period of play. Nice crowd. It's gathered here after all the inclement weather that's been going on in the San Antonio area. A lot of ice, a lot of precip, but things look to be back to normal. Into the right corner to Pitts. Pitts to Meredith. Off the mark, rebound again by Coleman, and gets it away to White. Gudadar to Coleman. 4 turnovers for the Roadrunners. Still 3-2 though, so no turnovers thus far for Western Kentucky. And a 3 by Hayes is off the mark. Another defensive board by Coleman. And the Roadrunners lead in rebounding margin. And 4 points now for Jenkins, 3 for Western Kentucky. So both shots, or both baskets, have come inside to Jordan Jenkins. The 3 by Meade from the left corner is good. So all 6 points thus far for Western Kentucky from the hands of Foster and Meade, and all 4 for the Roadrunners have come in the hands of the conference's leading scorer. But who else? Jordan Jenkins. Double on Coleman, knocked away by Meredith. Hayes back, 2-on-1 break to Foster. 8-4 now for Western Kentucky, and the pace is picking up here at the combo. Gudadaro with the basketball. Man-to-man defense for Western Kentucky. White to Atwood, into the corner to Gudadaro, back to Atwood. Atwood skies high over Foster. That's the Western Kentucky lead to 2 at 8-6. Just under 6 minutes remaining. And Foster with her second attempt from downtown off the mark. Long entry pass from White to Gudadaro to Jenkins. So 6 of the 8 points in the early going from Jenkins, 2 from Atwood. Things all tied here at 8. A 3 by Meredith. Off the mark, rebounded, another rebounded by Coleman. Coleman with 3 early defensive boards for the Roadrunners. As I mentioned, Roadrunners leading the rebounding margin in Conference USA, and just off the mark by Jenkins. Everything else is gone for the young lady. That was pretty close. Just couldn't get it to fall. Alexis Meade, 3, and that's 2 for Meade. Increases the Western lead to 3 and 11-8. 5 minutes remaining in the first period. Alexis Meade, 5'5" sophomore out of Moreno Valley, California, off to a quick start. Atwood with the basketball. Slapped away by Foster, but Roadrunner will retain possession. And a timeout in the action. We'll take it with them. It's Western Kentucky 11, UTSA 8. We'll be back after these. Roadrunners shooting 67%, 4 of 6 from the field. Western 31% on 4 of 13. Many of those have been launched from distance. They're 3 of 8 from beyond the arc, 38%. Roadrunners only attempted 1 3-pointer and weren't able to convert on that one. Points off turnovers so far, Western Kentucky 8 points off 6 UTSA Roadrunner turnovers. So Roadrunners have turned it over 6 times, only down 3 points. You got to feel pretty good about that. Into Coleman from Wakama. That's a Lady Topper lead to 1 at 11-10. Checking into the contest is Faustino for the Lady Toppers. Long rebound. Wakama again to Coleman. Double on Coleman, had to kick that one out. 20 on the shot clock. 3 by Wakama. Again, another good job on the offensive glass by the Roadrunners. Finds the freshman Parker. 8 on the shot clock. Finds a streaking Kira White. Roadrunners up 12-11. 3:45 remaining in the first period. It's a heads-up play by Parker. White at the top of the key and just made a beeline to the rim, and her teammate found her. There's Savori. They're going to call a reach on Alexis Parker. That's going to be her first personal on the freshman from Brandeis. Maya Linton, speaking of freshmen, checking in for Alyssa Coleman. Linton out of Duncanville. Five freshmen on this squad for the Roadrunners, rebounded by Wakama, and here comes UTSA. Jenkins, pushed by Pitts, trying to impede progress there. Will be on the floor, will remain Roadrunner basketball. 20 seconds on the shot clock. 3:11 remaining in the first period. We're at the Convocation Center in San Antonio. Finds Alexis Parker in the corner. White with the three. Rebound by Foster. And here comes Western Kentucky. Long three by Savory, way off the mark. And they're going to call foul on the Roadrunners. Looks to be on Maya Linton. It is on Linton. Haley Atwood in for Parker. And no, Haley Atwood is in for Kira White. She ran halfway to the bench and nope, we're staying out there. And a travel drug her foot. Right foot was Macy Blevins. That'll be the first turnover of the evening for Western. 6 on the Roadrunners. So UTSA up by 1, 2:48 remaining in the first period of play. Nice reversal by the Roadrunners. 15 on the shot clock. There's Jenkins, fade away off the back iron. Long rebound. Will stay Roadrunner basketball. Karis Allen, the freshman from Sikeston, Missouri, in for Aaliyah Pitts. Wakama inbounds for the Roadrunners. Parker into Jenkins. Muscle shot is no good. Foster and Jenkins got tied up, and that's going to be on Jordan Jenkins. That's going to be her first personal. And first personal, third team foul on the Roadrunners. 2:15 remaining. Roadrunners still up by 1. Roadrunners 50% from the field, but taking many of those in the paint. 6 of 12 down there. Only one three-pointer attempted thus far. And Western Kentucky's living and dying on those. And speaking of living, Macy Blevins, 5'10" sophomore out of Monticello, Kentucky, nails that one. Puts Western Kentucky up 14-12. And 4 of 11 so far. So 12 of the 14 points have come from beyond the arc. And Roadrunners turn it up for Western Kentucky. Ball in the hands of Faustino. Now Foster. Foster's knocked down 1-3 as well in the early going. And the middle of the lane, good deterrent by Coleman. Atwood set to inbound for the Roadrunners. Western Kentucky up 14-12, 1:19 remaining before the conclusion of the first quarter. White back in, Wakama and Parker out. So the 5 on the floor, Coleman, Linton, Jenkins, Atwood, and White for the Roadrunners. 65 seconds remaining. Tried to go into Jenkins. Jenkins pushed to the floor by Karis Allen. First personal on Allen, second team foul for Western Kentucky. Lady Toppers up by 2. 60 seconds remaining in the first period. You're saying the offense is white. 8 on the shot clock. Jenkins to Atwood. Blocked by Bentoncourt. Personal foul on Atwood will be the 4th team foul. 44 seconds remaining here in the first period. Ball in the hands of Faustino. Moving it across the top. The post defense has been pretty strong so far and haven't been allowed to get inside are the Lady Toppers, and a strong defensive board by Jordan Jenkins. Third team foul on Western Kentucky. 4 for the Roadrunners. 25 seconds remaining in the first period. Shot clock has been turned off. Kira White, transfer from USC, running the offense for the Roadrunners. Coleman squares up. Over to White. And Jenkins hits the floor again and being very tough on Jenkins. They know she's a leading scorer in the conference at 20. They did a pretty good job on her last time these two teams met in Bowling Green, and they're being very physical with her right now. 11 seconds on the shot clock. And Coach Karen Aston trying to get her point across to the officiating crew. David Jenkins out of Atlanta, Deonta Williams out of Alabama, and Matt Korenick in the Houston area. So both teams heading to their bench. I don't know if they're going to look at something. They were pretty aggressive towards Jenkins. She hit the floor, and I'm sure Coach Karen Aston wants them to review it. So we'll step aside. Western Kentucky up 14-12 over at UTSA. We'll be back with the conclusion of the first quarter. You're watching college basketball on CUSA.TV.
So we're going to go take a look at the monitor for possible unobserved intentional contact.
Gotcha. Thank you. And welcome back to the Convocation Center, and officials have taken a look and nothing there. And official Matt Korenick able to tell us unnecessary contact or intentional contact against Jenkins, but they couldn't find evidence. So back to action, 11 seconds. White goes into Linton. Linton hit from behind. No call. Ball on the deck. And it will remain Roadrunner basketball. 6 seconds remaining. Roadrunner ball down by 2. Trying to either tie things up or go ahead. White set to inbound through the corner. There's the drive by Atwood. Muscles it up and count it. 14-14. A great inbounds play there and ties things up at 14. So that'll do it for the first period of play from San Antonio. It's 14-14. We'll be back with second quarter action. You're watching college basketball on CUSA.TV. And welcome back to the Convocation Center, where things are all tied at 14 after the first period of play. Conference USA action on a Thursday night. Difference in this one, at least for Western Kentucky, has been their three-point shooting prowess. 4 of 11, 36%. That's where their bread and butter has been. Roadrunners' bread and butter has been in the hands of Jordan Jenkins. 6 points, all inside. Underway here in the second period, and right where Jalen Foster left off. Local product out of Austin, Steele High School, so performing in front of hometown crowd. Western Kentucky up 3. Gudadaro tries to find Coleman, saved by White, and into Atwood. Great hustle by the Roadrunners. There's White from the left corner. Scramble between Coleman and Pitts will remain Roadrunner basketball. 9:20 remaining here before the intermission. Things all tied at 14, and then Foster knocked down her second three. There's the freshman Gudadaro to White. 13 on the shot clock. Atwood to Linton. Linton to White. Gudadaro in the left corner. Good! Count! Sharp shooter from San Jose. Ties things up at 17. Wide open three is off the mark from Meade, who's already hit a couple. Ball into the hands of Acacia Hayes. Hayes really hurt the Roadrunners in Bowling Green the first time these two teams played, and Aaliyah Pitts with the three from the right side now. 6 of 14, 43% from beyond the arc. Gudadaro running the offense. Hit a three from the left corner to tie things up. Linton to Atwood. A little high from Gudadaro, but able to save it. Kira White. Shot clock was winding down. It was at 1 and had to launch it. A little farther back than she wanted to be. And Jenkins in for Linton and Wakama in for Gudadaro. 8:05 remaining before the intermission. Lady Toppers 20, Roadrunners 17. Both teams playing man-to-man, and Meade's feet went out from under her, loses the ball. Wakama gains possession for the Roadrunners. And a block, Foster blocks Wakama. And Foster with 2 threes both from the top of the key. He has the ability to post up and shoot the three. So for Western, Pitts has 1, Meade has 2, Foster has 2, and Blevins has 1. Jenkins out. Favor of Linton. 7:32 remaining. Roadrunner basketball turnover by Western Kentucky. And that's their second turnover of the evening. Little token pressure by the Lady Toppers. Kira White with no problem with the pressure. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Wakama getting caught in a trap and tied up by Acacia Hayes. Alternate possession will go in favor of the Roadrunners. 14 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Finds Coleman at the high post. Out to Atwood for the three. And here come the Lady Toppers. 25 on the shot clock and off the mark by Foster, but as we've seen, she's very capable of knocking down the three, especially from the top. That just seems to be the area she's the most comfortable with so far. 10 on the shot clock. There's Acacia Hayes and knocked to the deck. 7 on the shot clock. No foul called, just a lot of contact. So Meade set to inbound. Well, thought it was going to be Meade. Now it's going to be Meredith set to inbound directly in front of the Roadrunner bench. 7 seconds on the shot clock, 6:45 remaining in the first half. Give and go to Meredith, who passed it into Foster and back to Meredith for the reverse layup. 5-point lead now for Western Kentucky. Western sits in second place in Conference USA. Nice step through for Atwood for her second basket of the night. And it cuts Western Kentucky's lead to 3 at 22-19. Out to Pitts. Long rebound to Meredith. And then out to Acacia Hayes. Scramble for the ball. Western doing a pretty good job on the offensive glass here in the first half. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Lexus Meade going up against Kira White. Kicks it out to Hayes. Off the mark, rebounded by White. And here come the Roadrunners. Little double team in the backcourt. Heads up play of backing it out. Creating some space and getting it to Linton by Kira White, the transfer from USC. 3-point lead for Western Kentucky. 5:28 remaining. There's Wakama from the left side. Ties things up at 22. And just what the doctor ordered for the Roadrunners. Slapped away from Hayes. And believe me when I say this, Hayes was everything for Western last time. And Atwood scores. Back-to-back basket for Atwood. Roadrunners up 24-22. Timeout in the action. We'll be back. 24-22 is the count. Back-to-back baskets by Haley Atwood. Roadrunners have gotten most of their points in the paint tonight, and 5 on the floor are Atwood, Wakama, Parker now, Coleman, and Linton. 5 minutes and 3 seconds remaining before the intermission. Roadrunners with a nice run. 5-point lead's been the largest by the Lady Toppers. But the Roadrunners look like they've settled in. There's Foster. Wakama to Atwood. Wakama walking it across the timeline. 20 on the shot clock, 4:30 on the game clock. Nice to find Coleman with the left hand. Roadrunners up 2 baskets, 26-22. Three by Savory, way off the mark. Rebounded again by Atwood, and the intensity is picking up here at the Convocation Center. Coleman loses it, but then fouls Josie Gilvin. Roadrunners returning to action against the first place team in Conference USA, Middle Tennessee, on Saturday afternoon. We'll have it for you. It won't be on CUSA.TV. It'll be on ESPN+. So if you can't make it to the Convocation Center here, you can join us on ESPN+. Be joined by Carl Schoenig on Saturday. Nice crowd here Thursday, considering the weather that's been going on the last 3 nights here in the San Antonio area. A lot of ice, a lot of sleet. And Roadrunners with turnover number 10. Four-point lead for UTSA, 3:35 remaining before the intermission. Left corner, three-pointer is good by Faustino. Her first points of the evening. And that's three-pointer number 7, 7 of 20 from downtown. 35% from beyond the arc, and cuts the Roadrunner lead to 1. And a reach foul by Jalen Foster, the sophomore from Austin. Into Wakama, over to White. 3 minutes remaining before the intermission. Parker hesitation on that three, but out to Kira White, who will pull the trigger. Just off the front iron, long rebound to the Lady Toppers, and Hope Savory will go to the free throw line for 2. Second person on Maya Linton. Savory, 5'5" junior out of Louisville. Greg Collins grew up in Louisville. Alma mater is the University of Louisville. Queen Ulabo seeing her first action of the night for Linton, and sharpshooter from San Jose, Sienna Gudadaro, in for Deborah Wakama. So 72% free throw shooter is Savory. Five different Lady Toppers have converted on three-pointers here in the first half. Things all knotted at 26. Full court pressure for the Roadrunners. No problem with that. Parker loses control, but it was tipped. And then a foul on Josie Gilvin, the 6-foot freshman from Louisville. So we're seeing some of Coach Greg Collins' influence. A couple of Louisville players in Savory and Gilvin. Also an assistant coach at Louisville. And Queen Ulabo block will remain Roadrunner basketball. 15 seconds on the shot clock. 2:26 remaining before the break. Coleman with the jumper from the elbow is good. Roadrunners back on top by 2. 2:20 remaining until halftime. Savory running the offense, uses the screen by Foster, and Savory with an out-of-control shot and a foul on Gilvin. So it will be Roadrunner basketball. Maya Meredith back in for Western Kentucky. Kira White getting signals from head coach Karen Assen. Her second season, 3 wins shy of 300. Taken away from White, and then Meredith comes up with it. White goes underneath, and a second chance opportunity by Foster. Tie things up at 28. Under 2 minutes to play in the second period. Over to Ulabo. Bodies go flying inside to Coleman, and Coleman finishes. Roadrunners have had a lot of success going inside tonight. Foul on Jalen Foster. That's her second personal. And Odie Bittencourt in place of Foster. Her second personal. Coleman at the free throw line. Coleman, 75% free throw shooter, and converts and completes a three-point play. Atwood in for Gudadaro. So a three-point lead for the Roadrunners at 31-28, 90 seconds remaining before the intermission. Savory, junior from Louisville, running, but turns it over, trying to pass to Meredith, but then Western Kentucky ties things up. I thought Ulabo had it, but jump ball, alternate possession will go in favor of Western Kentucky. 75 seconds remain before the intermission. Roadrunners with a 3-point lead. Glad you could join us on a Thursday night here in San Antonio. Conference USA action. Second place, Western Kentucky taking on the 7th place UTSA Roadrunners. And a kick ball on Kira White. Shot clock reset to 20. Ball in the hands of Faustino. Launches it, but caught by Meredith. Back to Savory. 10 on the shot clock, going up against Atwood, and Atwood fouls her and one. Savory with 1 point. Basket good, and looking for her 4th point. Gudadaro in for Parker. Well, so Savory, 72% free throw shooter. 1 of 2. Now 2 of 3. Things all knotted here at 31. 62 seconds remaining before the break. Gudadaro finds Coleman. Back to the top to reset to White. 32-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Shot clock down to 15. Queen Ulabo with the 3. Slapped away by Coleman, and when she knocked it, looked like it went off of Bentoncourt, but will be Western Kentucky ball. 41.2, and a long pass to Savory. Caught the Roadrunner sleeping, but Gudadaro comes across and blocks it. Great recovery by Sienna Gudadaro. 27 seconds on the shot clock. 38, 11-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Things all tied at 31. Kind of a different story from the last time these two teams played. And a first step by Meredith on Ulabo. Not going to be a foul. Just going to, well, they're going to say she turned it over. So Roadrunner ball. Shot clock's been turned off. 25 seconds remaining before the half. Ball in the hands of Gudadaro on the left wing. Resetting the offense. Roadrunners in no hurry. Want to save it for the last shot if at all possible. Over to White, 9 seconds. Down to 5, the jumper on the baseline. And White is fouled by Blevins. Her first personal, that's going to send Kira White to the free throw line to try to break this tie. 65% free throw shooter, Gudadaro out. White, first free throw of the evening. Kezia Hayes back in favor of Savory. 4.3 ticks remaining before the intermission. Things all knotted at 31. Free throw rolls around and doesn't fall. One free throw to come for the junior transfer from USC, local product. Knocks it down. Roadrunners up 1, down to 4, down to 3. And hesitation by Hayes doesn't allow her to get it off before the break. So the Roadrunners up 32-31 over the second place Western Kentucky Lady Toppers. We'll be back with some first half stats and second half action. You're listening to college basketball on CUSA.tv. And about to get things started here in the second half of the Convocation Center here in the Alamo City. Roadrunners up 32-31. Western Kentucky sits in second place in the conference. Middle Tennessee at 11-0. Western Kentucky at 8-3. UTEP at 6-4. In third, Rice, Charlotte, Louisiana Tech, and FIU all tied. And North Texas all tied at 5-6. Florida Atlantic at 4-7. Then UTSA in 7th at 3-8. And UAB rounds it out at 2-9. So back in action here in the Alamo City. Kira White running the offense against man-to-man defense by the Lady Toppers. Jordan Jenkins back in for the Roadrunners. And into Atwood, tries to muscle it up against three defenders, but can't come down with the basket. So Meade back in, all the starters back in for the Lady Toppers. And the drive, and a foul on is on Kira White. So Meade, Foster, Hayes, Pitts, and after this play, there's Meade from the right side. Third three-pointer of the evening for that young lady. And Meredith, the 5 on the floor for the Lady Toppers. Western Kentucky back on top, 34-32 with that three from Meade. High-low action to Coleman from Jenkins. And things all knotted at 34. 8:50 remaining here in the third period. We're at the Convocation Center in San Antonio. Glad you could join us. And there's Foster, who's really hurt the Roadrunners in the first half with her offensive prowess. 2 of 4 from downtown. Shot clock at 10. Down to 5. Meade with the basketball. Loses it, slapped away, and the 30-second shot clock violation. So strong 30 seconds of defense for the Roadrunners. Last time these two teams met back on January 7th in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Lady Toppers came away with a victory 77-69. Kira White for 3. Roadrunners back up by 3. Under 8 minutes remaining in the third period. And there's Foster off the mark, rebounded by Gudadaro. And here comes UTSA. Ahead to Atwood. 20 on the shot clock. Jenkins to Coleman. High-low action again. Coleman throws it away, but gets it back and drives hard with the left hand and is fouled by Jalen Foster. Teresa Faustino, the 5'9" junior out of Barreiro, Portugal, set to check in for Meade. Transfer from Oregon State. And that'll send Alyssa Coleman to the free throw line for 2. Coleman, 75% free throw shooter on the season. Perfect now 2 of 2 from the stripe. And the Roadrunners up 4 at 38-34. Now 5, largest lead of the evening for the Roadrunners at 5. So coming out of the half, Meade launches a 3 and gets Western Kentucky up, but then the Roadrunners come back with a 5-0 run of their own. Shot clock at 10. Maya Meredith with a step back 3. That's a Roadrunner lead to 2 at 39-37, and 9 of 24 from beyond the arc for Western. It's just what they do. Two-point lead for the Roadrunners. Shot clock down to 15. The drive through the lane, but Pitts is blocked by Jenkins. It's ahead to Atwood on the drive. Nice body control over Acacia Hayes. Roadrunners back to a 4-point lead at 41-37. Atwood elevated, made adjustments in the air, maneuvered around the defense, and Atwood with a 10-point game and just really playing well on both ends of the floor. Lady Toppers basketball. Roadrunners with a 4-point lead, 6:14 remaining in the third period. And a block on Foster. Seconds remain on the shot clock. Will remain Western Kentucky basketball. Faustino set to inbounds. Gets it into Hayes. Down to 9. Hayes with the left hand scoop shot is good against Kira White. That's a Roadrunner lead to 2 at 41-39. And Acacia Hayes will have 1 to go. 6:03 remaining in the third period. Roadrunners up 2. And the free throw goes down and cuts the Roadrunner lead to 1 at 6 minutes remaining in the third period. Kira White, junior transfer from USC, and they've gone to the well maybe one time too much. Western has knocked that high-low action away from the Roadrunners the last 2 times, so gonna have to mix it up. Jenkins blocks Pitts. Both paws on top of that does Jordan Jenkins. And they're saying Roadrunner basketball, but the officials are gonna call a foul. Well, they've reversed it because White was out of bounds, ready to inbounds. So no foul called, but it will remain Western Kentucky basketball. 15 on the shot clock. 1-point lead for UTSA. Hayes loses it in the paint. White recovers and pushes it across the timeline for the Roadrunners. And Jenkins not allowed to catch the ball. Pitts. And Jenkins is always a point of contact because leading scorer in Conference USA. They do anything and everything to try to get her off her game, and sometimes gets a little too much. And both teams are sent back to the bench while the officials talk this one over. And 41-40 UTSA, 5:20 remaining here in the third period. Head coach Karen Ashton trying to get an answer. So we'll step aside. It's 41-40 UTSA over Western Kentucky. We'll be back. You're watching college basketball on CUSA.tv.
It's actually red 2, so there's a common foul on red 2 and one has a technical foul on red 2.
All right, welcome back to the Convocation Center. The officials have sorted this out. It was a common foul, number 2, Aaliyah Pitt for Western Kentucky, and then a technical foul on Aaliyah Pitt. Thought it was on 5, and it was a technical foul. Both officials talking to head coach Greg Collins and Karen Aston. And that's what it looks like. That's what official Matt Korenick told me, that common foul on 2, which is Aaliyah Pitts. Thought it was 5 initially, merited. And Jordan Jenkins will shoot the free throw, the technical, and Roadrunners will gain possession of the basketball. Just received confirmation from lead official David Jenkins on the common foul and the technical. Jenkins will have 2 and extends the Roadrunner lead to 3 at 43 to, well, thought it was a 1 point. Maybe it was a, check that now, it is a 2 point. So it's a 3-point lead now for the Roadrunners, 43-40. Linton in for Jenkins, will be Roadrunner basketball. So going to the monitor to make sure they got it right is much appreciated. Sienna Gudadaro at the top. Man-to-man defense by the Lady Toppers. Here's a screen from Litton. Atwood with a well of a game tonight. 10 points. And a travel on White using the screen from Linton. That will be turnover number 14. But 10 of those in the first half. Only 4 thus far in the second. So 5 minutes and change. And I don't think the clock moved. And Matt Korenick, the official, is talking to them about that. Nice crowd tonight. They were honoring or introducing the softball team. Softball season right around the corner, starts this month, already February, and we'll be at the conference tournament before we know it. And they're going to call a block on Maya Linton. 2 shots. Media timeout. We'll take it with them. It's the Roadrunners 43. The Lady Toppers 40. Returning to action here, the Convocation Center in San Antonio. Roadrunners up by 3. Maya Meredith, 5'11" sophomore out of Newport, Kentucky, at the free throw line for 2. First free throw is good for the 71% free throw shooter. Meredith now 1 of 1 from the stripe. Second free throw goes down as well. Roadrunners up by 1. Full court pressure now by the Lady Toppers. Kira White being guarded tightly by Maya Meredith. 4:35 remaining here in the third stanza. Roadrunners back in action on Saturday as Middle Tennessee, the top team in Conference USA, comes calling here at the Convocation Center. Gudadaro with the 3 with 2 seconds on the shot clock. Rebounded by Foster. And here come the Lady Toppers. Up against Coleman, out of control shot. Slapped away by Foster. Will remain Roadrunner basketball. 4:04 remaining here in the third. Roadrunners up by 1. Full court pressure. Clear out. Deborah Wakama set to enter for the Roadrunners. 15 on the shot clock. White calls a timeout. 30-second timeout will remain here. Roadrunners, as I mentioned, back in action on Saturday as Middle Tennessee will be in the Alamo City. 2 o'clock tip. Will not be on CUSA.tv. Will be on ESPN Plus. So if you can't make it to the convo, tune in to ESPN Plus. Be joined by Carl Schoening. offers 18-2 overall. About to return to action. Wakama set to inbounds in front of the Roadrunner bench. 11 seconds on the shot clock. 3:46 remaining in the third period. 9 launches a 3. Nothing but money for Deborah Wakama. 4-point lead now equals the largest lead of the evening for the Roadrunners. Alexis Meade has been on the bench for quite a while for Western Kentucky, and Odie Bentoncourt in for Jalen Foster for Western Kentucky. Kira White set to inbound for the Roadrunners. White loses control, taken control by Karis Allen. Gives it up to Hayes. Hayes out to the left wing to Faustino for the 3. Roadrunners lead cut to 1 at 46-45, under 3 minutes to play here in the third period. Coleman and Wakama working on the right side. Linton. White with the 3. Off the back iron, rebounded by Atwood. Wakama. 2 3-pointers for Deborah Wakama. 49-45. Again, equals the largest lead of the evening for the Roadrunners. Baseline jumper by Allen is no good, but Western Kentucky with the ball. 15 seconds on the shot clock, 2:14 on the game clock. Casey Hayes setting the offense up. Going up against Kira White. And a foul on Coleman. Alyssa Coleman, the sophomore from Houston. And Macy Blevins in for Maya Meredith. Free throw is good. 72% free throw shooter. Freshman from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Second free throw goes down as well. Cuts the Roadrunner lead to 2. And Casey Hayes really hurt the Roadrunners last time these two teams met. Kira White out in favor of Sienna Gudadara. Full court pressure by the Lady Toppers. Wakama trying to dribble past 2 defenders, and she does, able to get it out. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Turnover by the Roadrunners, number 16. Three-pointer by Hayes is off the mark. Long rebound. Wakama gets the loose ball. 1-on-2. And the jumper off the glass is good. 8 points for Deborah Wakama tonight. Roadrunners back to a 4-point cushion. 1:28 remaining here in the third period. And Roadrunners have gotten a lot more aggressive defensively tonight. And the 3 is off the mark by Faustino. Rebounded by Coleman. 70 seconds remaining in the third period of play. And speaking of Meade, about to check in for Western Kentucky. And .41-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Down to 7 for Atwood. Uses the screen by Coleman. Out to Coleman. Launches a 3. Way off the mark. 10-second differential now between the shot clock and the game clock. Roadrunners with a 4-point lead. And Hayes kicks it out to Blevins, off the mark. It's either knocked out by Coleman or Linton. Kira White set to enter for Wakama. Alexis Parker in for Gudadaro. Savori in for Faustino. Wholesale changes. And Hayes out in favor of Blevins. Hayes out in favor of Meade, rather. And a three-point from the corner is good by Karis Allen to cut the Roadrunner lead to 1. 15 seconds remaining here in the third period. And those threes just seem to bail out Western Kentucky. When they get in a bind, they're able to shoot those threes very effective. 11 of 31, 35% from beyond the arc. Roadrunners 5 of 16, 31%. Atwood out in favor of Wakama, 12.4. And Jenkins back in for Linton. There's Wakama. Down to 8, stolen by Meade. Meade goes up, is fouled, and the basket. See if they count it, but I think they are, and they did. Western Kentucky up by 1, 52-51. 6.2 remaining here in the period. Meade, 83% free throw shooter. First free throw of the evening. And it goes down. Roadrunners down 2. 3 seconds remaining. There's Atwood. Launches it. Almost goes down, but a strong quarter for the Roadrunners. Western Kentucky, though, up by 2, 53-51. We'll be back with the final 10 minutes of action from the Convocation Center here in San Antonio. You're watching college basketball on CUSA.tv. About to begin the final 10 minutes of regulation. Western Kentucky up over UTSA 53-51. Lady Toppers sit in second place at 8-3. In Conference USA, Roadrunners in 7th place at 3-8, 5-15 overall. Lady Toppers at 11-9. 5 on the floor for the Roadrunners: Parker, Jenkins, Coleman, Atwood, and White. Savori, Meade, Bentoncourt, Blevins, and Allen. 5 on the floor for Western Kentucky. Roadrunners will retain possession. 20 seconds on the shot clock. They're being very physical with Jordan Jenkins, as we talked about earlier, extending their arms up like, I don't know what you're talking about. They're just being physical out there. Nothing going on that shouldn't. But she's just 2 and 3 bodies around her every time, and it's tough. Two-point lead for Western Kentucky, and a foul away from the basketball. That's going to be on Alyssa Coleman. Second personal on Alyssa, sophomore from Atascocita in the Houston area. 9:33 remaining in regulation. And they're going to say an offensive foul on Alexis Meade. Check that. That's on Bentoncourt. That's her first personal. Kira White running the offense for the Roadrunners. 9:20 remaining. Lady Toppers with a 2-point lead. 14 on the shot clock. White Fadeaway is good and ties things up at 53. 9 minutes remaining here in this one. Convocation Center here in the Alamo City. Karis Allen knocks down the three. Allen now with 6 points on the evening. Road runners trying to regroup here. Sienna Gudadaro sets a check in for the Road runners. Drive by Atwood. 12 points now for Haley Atwood. Great baseline drive. Western Kentucky up one at 56-55. And offensive control that time by the Lady Toppers. Ball in the hands of Savory. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Out to Bentoncourt and back to Savory. Down to three. And Meade gets the board as the buzzer goes down and it rolls down. Oh my. 58-56 Western Kentucky over UTSA. 7:50 remaining here in this one. The heads-up play by Meade of getting that board and getting it off. Into Jenkins. Jenkins muscles that one up. Roadrunners down by one, 58-57. 7:31 remaining. Jenkins now with 10 points. Coleman leading the charge for the Roadrunners with 13. Atwood with 12. Jenkins with 10. And Wakama with 11. So 4 Roadrunners in double figure scoring. Parker out in favor of Gudadaro for UTSA. .725 remaining in regulation. Meade with the wide open three, and it's good. Good 61-57, 4-point lead for Western. Largest lead has been 5 by the Lady Toppers. Roadrunners much need of a basket. Kira White for the left side. 61-60, Roadrunners down one. 6:52 remaining in the fourth period rather. We'll be right back with more college basketball on CUSA.TV. Roadrunners shooting 24 of 46, 52% from the field. 6 of 17 from downtown for 35%. And 6 of 7, 85.7% from the field. Lady Toppers, 20 of 62, 32%. 13 of 33, a blistering 39% from beyond the arc. Also shooting well from the stripe, 89% at 8 of 9. And Gilvin draws a foul, will be at the free throw line. Oh, check that. Karis Allen, 5'11" freshman out of Sikeston, Missouri, 64% free throw shooter, averaging over 2 points and 2 rebounds per contest. And increases the Lady Topper lead to 2 at 62-60. Roadrunners back in action as they face the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee. 2 o'clock on Saturday. Hopefully you can join us in person at the Convo. If not, we'll have it for you, not here on CUSA.TV, but ESPN+. High-low action. Jenkins to Coleman. And just missed it. Lead remains at 2 for the Lady Toppers. 6:20 remaining. And a turnover. Savory couldn't handle it. 9 turnovers on the evening for the Toppers. 17 for the Roadrunners, most of those coming in the first half. Roadrunners down by 2, 6:08 remaining. Shot clock down to 17. Three-pointer from Gudadaro. Oh my, just just what the doctor ordered for the Roadrunners. Roadrunners up now by 1 at 63-62. 5:45 remaining here from the Convocation Center. We're in the Alamo City. Shot clock down to 10. The jumper is good by Bentoncourt. Lady Toppers back on top, 64-63. 5:25 remaining here in this one. Gudadaro just off the mark. Set up nice, good ball movement that time, wide open, just couldn't find the bottom of the net. Has 2 3-pointers, does the freshman sharpshooter from San Jose. Off the mark by Meade, scramble for the ball, rebounded by Blevins, puts it up, no good. Coleman with the rebound, and here come the Roadrunners. 1-point lead for the Lady Toppers. Savory picks the pocket of Kira White, and Meade loses it. Lady Toppers get it, and Allen with a point-blank 3. 4-point lead now for the Lady Toppers. 30-second timeout, so we'll stay here with them. It just seems like Lady Toppers are getting every offensive board when they need it. Just seem to be getting the bounce. Just like that one that came down to Karis Allen. Karis put it right back in. Lexus Meade did the same thing during the second half. So a 4-point lead, 67-63. Western Kentucky up over UTSA. 4:37 remaining in regulation here. 5 on the floor are Gudadaro, Atwood, White, Jenkins, and Coleman. Savory, Meredith, Meade, Allen, and Bentoncourt for the Lady Toppers. Full court pressure now by the Lady Toppers. 4-point lead, 4:37 remaining. Gudadaro, no problem against me. Gets it across the timeline. There's White. 3-pointer against Savory. Off the mark. Rebounded by Meade. And the Lady Toppers will walk the ball up across the timeline. 4:10 remaining. He's running the show for the Lady Toppers. Kicked out to Savory, down to 9. 3-pointer by Meredith. Off the mark, rebounded by Jenkins, brings it down and is fouled. Going to be on Meade. Check that. Karis Allen, not on Meade. Going to be the second personal on Karis Allen. Full court pressure again by Western Kentucky. 4-point lead for the Lady Toppers. 3:50 remaining here in this one. Gudadaro gets it through the traffic. 20 on the shot clock. Jenkins finding 2 bodies, sometimes even 3 on a drive. Spins towards the middle. The double clutch against Allen is good. 2-point lead now for Western Kentucky. 3:25 remaining. The runner by Meade is no good. Atwood on the defense. Rebounded by Coleman. Gets it across to White. 3-on-2 break. Finds Jenkins. Muscles it up strong. Drops it down, and things are all tied at 67. Jenkins now with 14 points. 4 Roadrunners in double figures. Coleman, Atwood, Jenkins, and Wakama. Point-blank shot missed by Meredith. Rebounded by Atwood. 2:43 remaining here in this one. Things all knotted in San Antonio. Head coach Karen Aston barking out signals. Shot by Gudadaro off the mark, rebounded by the Lady Toppers. 67-67, 2:20 remaining here from the Convocation Center in San Antonio. Hope Savory, 5'5" junior out of Louisville. Gets around White. Jenkins is there, but still gets the basket. 69-67, 2-point lead for the Lady Toppers. 2 minutes remaining. Don't go anywhere. White running the offense for the Roadrunners. To Jenkins at the high post. Down to 10. Drives it past the defender. Past Allen. Can't get it to fall. Lady Toppers still up to 69-67. 1:34 remaining here in this one. Foster with a three, off the mark, rebounded by White. And here come the Roadrunners. Get it ahead to Coleman. Spin move, puts it up high off the glass, misses it. Rebounded by Savory. 75 seconds remaining. Lady Toppers up 1. Check that too. Greg Collins barking out instruction for the Lady Toppers. Kira White knocks it away from Meade, but Lady Toppers retain possession. Keisha Hayes back in for Western Kentucky. In for Alexis Meade. Gets it into Hayes. 13 on the shot clock. 1 minute remaining and a hold by Kira White. That should be on the floor, and it will be. Heads up defensive play by White, the junior transfer from USC. Karis Allen set to inbound for the Toppers. 20 seconds on the shot clock. 59.3 remaining here in regulation. There's Hayes. Backing it out. 10 on the shot clock. 48 on the game clock. Gives it up to Savory. Launches a three. Scramble for the ball. Saved by White to Jenkins. And Jenkins is fouled. Third team foul on Western. UTSA with 14 fouls. And a timeout in the action. We'll take it with them. It's Western Kentucky 69, UTSA 67. Don't go anywhere. 40 seconds remaining here in this one. You're watching college basketball on CUSA.TV. Runners back in action on Saturday, 2 p.m. tip from the Convo as they face first place, the Blue Raiders from Middle Tennessee. Roadrunners with the ball with an opportunity to either tie or go ahead. Haley Atwood, here White running the offense. So 9-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Jenkins with the drive against two defenders, slapped up. Atwood with the offensive board. White to the right corner. Gudadaro off the front iron. Scramble for the basketball. Meade gets it and calls a quick timeout. Had a good look from the right side, just a little short. 30-second timeout. Meade caught the ball in the corner, got the long rebound from the three. Maya Linton set to enter. Officials having a discussion with head coach Greg Collins. Western Kentucky 69, UTSA 67. 20 seconds, 20.2 to be precise remaining here in this one. Lady Topper basketball, Roadrunners with 4 team fouls, Western Kentucky with 3. Now they're still talking, so thought it was the 32nd, but seemed like we've gone over, so I don't know if they're going to take another look at that one. So we'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have the conclusion of this one from San Antonio. You're watching college basketball on CUSA TV. 69-67 to count. Western Kentucky over UTSA. 20.2 ticks remaining here in regulation. Western Kentucky with the basketball. Sienna Gudadara from the right side had an opportunity to tie things up. Wasn't able to knock it down. Long rebound comes down to Alexis Mead. She calls the timeout, so right in front of the Roadrunner bench. So Western Kentucky now with the ball in front of their own bench. 20 seconds on the game clock. Shot clock's been turned off, so they're going to have to foul her if they can't get a steal from her. Mead doing her impression of the Harlem Globetrotters, trying to keep that ball away. And there was a foul with 7.6, and Mead doing a good job of protecting the basketball, but a foul occurred away from the ball. Kira White fouls out with 5 fouls. Sienna Gudadaro set to check in. Alexis Mead at the free throw line. Trying to add to the Western Kentucky lead. 7.6 remaining. Mead perfect 1 of 1 on the night, now 2 of 2. 83% free throw shooter for the sophomore from Moreno Valley, California. Goes down now a 2-possession game. Timeout by the Roadrunners. So we'll take it with them. When we come back, we'll have the conclusion of this one from the Convocation Center here in San Antonio. Roadrunners down 4 at 71-67. Welcome back. 7.6 seconds remaining. Roadrunners down 4. Gonna have to get a quick shot here and a foul if they can't get a steal. Haley Atwood set to inbounds in front of the Roadrunner bench. Into Wakama, launches the 3 from the corner, off the mark. Scramble for the ball. Western Kentucky comes down with it, and Jalen Foster is fouled. 2.3 seconds remaining. Foul on Haley Atwood, her first foul. Haley Atwood with a strong game tonight. 12 points on 6 of 9 from the field. Coleman also with a strong game, 13 points. Has a double-double, 11. And Foster increases the Western Kentucky lead to 5, now 6 at 73-67. 2, down to 1, and that'll do it from the Convocation Center tonight, where Western Kentucky takes down UTSA 73-67. Really good basketball game if you're a fan. Went back and forth. Roadrunners with their own 4-point lead multiple times. Western Kentucky with a 5-point lead and finishes with their largest lead of the night at 73-67.